Hi, I'm Patty Dreier, Portage County Executive. Welcome to Portage County Matters. It's a happy new year, and I have to tell you I'm really looking forward to doing my best to help move Portage County forward in this new year. My guest today is Jami Gebert, and what we thought we'd do is to start off with a little bit more news than normal, and then I'm going to connect you with my executive assistant out of the county executive's office, because so many of you talk with her on the phone. It's about time you get to know her a little bit better. So let's go through some news clips first, and then we'll transition to the guest today. First in the news, as you have probably heard, we have a new clerk of courts in Portage County. Her name is Patricia Baker, but she likes to be called Trish. So anyway, Trish has worked as an attorney with neighboring counties, and so she's very well versed in the importance of the courts, how they work, what the administration is all about. So we're really excited to have her. She's assisting in making that transition under the new CCAP system. That's the state's Consolidated Court Automation Program, and the CCAP system should be live very soon this spring for citizens like you to have access to information in that computer system. But anyway, you're going to hear more about that CCAP transition, and you're also going to hear about her own transition into that new position here in Portage County later this spring, so we'll look forward to that. I want to extend my thanks to Kelly Exner, who has functioned in an interim clerk of courts status since October. And anyway, so Kelly, you've done a great job holding it together since Bernie Fladoff had announced her retirement from that clerk of courts position in September. So we really appreciate your service. McDill, that's the next subject. Boy, the McDill Dam. You might remember that we had submitted a grant application by the Village of Whiting to the State Department of Natural Resources requesting some financial aid and help in repairing the dam. And I'm happy to report now that out of 21 applications, 15 of them were awarded, and Portage County's McDill Dam was ranked 6th. So that means that the actual grant award is going to depend on the final construction costs, but it's estimated to be over $319,000 of financial aid with a maximum of $400,000 on the project. So anyway, the Portage County Highway Department staff members continue to monitor County HH on a weekly basis and more when there's precipitation. And so this dam repair project is going to help us this year make sure that we are maintaining the integrity of the County HH road for the long term, as well as repairing the dam. County leaders, as well as Village of Whiting leaders, the City of Stevens Point leadership, and the Lake District are all continuing to come around the table and work through this issue together. So we'll look forward to a resolution this year. The Portage County Healthcare Center is the next topic I wanted to offer an update on. We've got a strategic planning team that was assembled in November with the blessing of the County Homes Oversight Committee of the County Board, and they are working really hard. I'm on the team. We are working very hard to get up to speed on the changes that have so impacted the world of nursing homes and medical assistance funding in the state of Wisconsin. And so anyway, we actually just met the night before this taping, and we had a consultant come in from the state of Wisconsin who could shed some incredible light on the situation and how our model fits compared to other publicly owned nursing homes across the state of Wisconsin, and again how the federal funding and the state funding fit into the picture. So we're building our own literacy, and then our job is to figure out how to improve the sustainability of the Portage County home and to present some recommendations to the Portage County Healthcare Center's Oversight Committee and the County Board, so that it'll be those committee board members that end up helping us make that longer term decision about how to go forward with the Portage County Healthcare Center. So it's a really big job to take this on, and I'm grateful for Jerry Piasek's leadership as chair of that strategic planning team. He's doing an absolutely remarkable job. His business expertise is coming through, and we so appreciate that. Some information. This is a different topic I wanted to offer you. In the newspaper, in the end of 2011, there was misinformation about Portage County Healthcare Center, Portage County Health and Human Services funding. It had misrepresented in an editorial article that claimed that we had quote-unquote slashed the funding for Health and Human Services in Portage County, and that's simply a false statement, and I wanted to correct that information. Our budget looks different this year in the Health and Human Services realm, and it will look like there has been a reduction in funding, but in fact the state of Wisconsin has just chosen to pull back the way they reimburse for a certain program back to the state level rather than doing it at the local county level, and so that changes the reflection of those numbers. It doesn't mean that those programs aren't available for folks or that we've reduced programming in any kind of significant way, because in fact we've reinforced programs and we have anticipated needs, and I know that we have done some restructuring to make sure that we could anticipate the growing needs for human services in Portage County. So please just know that the real story is that Health and Human Services is really important to me and to the leadership in Portage County. And so, again, it was only part of the story I think this person was understanding. In 2011, from the strategic planning standpoint, I mean, we had gone out to all of the different county departments, as you may remember, and had asked to begin a strategic planning effort there. And one of the things that I had asked all of the departments to do was to identify what their physical space and facilities needs are and how well those needs were being met for storage as well as for operational areas, garages, and so on. We have a good inventory to start with, and now we have the next steps for comprehensive, more holistic look to strategic planning for our physical space needs in Portage County that is underway with a team that includes myself, Phil Eidsvog, the chair of the county board, Jeannie Dodge, the chair of Space and Properties Committee, and some other county staff members. And together we are charting a course for how we will go about doing the kinds of planning that is necessary for us to be able to make really good decisions about operations and efficiencies. So hopefully by the time we move through this year's planning effort, we will have a good, comprehensive map for future facility needs in Portage County. Joint dispatch planning is another thing that's going on. Boy, I guess you're catching the theme, right? Planning is a big part of what's going on in not just 2011, but what we're looking forward to in 2012. There's an effort that was underway in 2011 that was related to the phase 1 aspect of joint dispatch. And so what we have now underway in 2012 is a project that is jointly funded by the county, the city of Stevens Point, and the village of Plover. And what we're doing is we're collaborating to determine the way to roll out a joint dispatch scenario in Portage County, should that come to be in our future, and figuring out what we need to be thinking about, what are the best ways that we can ensure that we're meeting law enforcement as well as emergency response needs when that 911 dispatch center is used for those purposes. Chief Deputy Dan Contos out of the Sheriff's Department is the leader on the project, and we have a planning team that's engaged there as well. So look for more information. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting year for us to figure out our pathway ahead on that as well. I wanted to share some veteran service information. It's very cool news, I think, here in Portage County that we have now been lifting up a Portage County Allied Military Veterans Council. And it's a long name, but it really means that it creates a hub of communications for the 13 different veteran service organizations and auxiliaries that are all part of the network that serves military veterans here in Portage County. And this is all in the relationship with our Veterans Service Commission, that is a county commission here that works with our veteran service officer in Portage County, Michael Clements, that many of you probably know. The neat thing here is that I think this is going to be a way for us to do even better on reaching out, understanding what veterans' needs are all about, and making sure that we are collaborating, using our resources, including volunteer resources, most efficiently to serve those needs. Dwayne Miskelin is the leader of that particular group and effort, and I have to really tell you what an amazing man he is. He's served for nearly a decade on our Portage County Veterans Service Commission, and now he's going to take over the leadership of that allied veterans group. And I have appointed a backfill for him, if you would, on the Veterans Service Commission. That's Scott Poplinski. He's going to be active in that Vet Service Commission to help us continue to build these local capacities and support our Veterans Service Office in its efforts. So anyway, very good news, I think, in Portage County, and I'm sure we're all going to learn more about our best ways to communicate with that group as Dwayne continues to roll out that effort. Solid waste, there is news on that front as well. We are continuing to renew our municipal contracts with our county partners in the Solid Waste Consortium. And most of the folks are finishing up the contract renewals. It's a 7-year contract that'll bring us up through 2019 with our Solid Waste Consortium. It's one of our success stories in Portage County. And I think the thing that most people need to remember is our Solid Waste Department needs to operate like a business, and it is not tax levy funded. It's funded through other means. And if you want to know more, you're welcome to give our office a call or to contact the Solid Waste Department directly. I'm sure John Gardner and the others there will be happy to help teach you. It's very cool design, and one of the models, I think, in the state. Excuse me. I'm happy to say that we have a profit built into the budget for solid waste for 2012. You know, our goal is to break even, but I think we'll be doing a little bit better than that if things continue on the trend that we see today. So that is for the first time in any recent history, and that's a significant change from about a year and a half ago when our solid waste department was in a lot of trouble. And so anyway, I think that we have turned the ship. And I thank all of our municipal partners who are helping to make that happen, as well as our leadership on the Solid Waste Board. You may remember also that the Veolia company, the one that operates our MRF, our material recovery facility, the place that your recyclables go when they get sorted and then sent to market, that the Veolia company was interested in maybe making an offer on purchasing the MRF, and we hadn't decided if that was a great idea or not, but we were going to wait and see until we had more information about that offer, about what the decision might be. Well, it turns out that Veolia's parent company is in Paris, France, and that company now is up for sale. They're at market. So, you know, I think the idea of an offer is a lot longer way off for our consideration. In the meantime, I'm so glad that we turned our ship, and we're going to continue with a really bright solid waste future in Portage County. On animal control, that's another example of a contract we have that many municipalities are participants in. And so we have our animal control contract that is supervised basically through our Sheriff's Department, and it's with the Humane Society here in Portage County. And we've been working to tweak that contract. So in the first quarter this year, we'll continue to adjust that contract ever so little bit to make sure that it's meeting everybody's needs. But we all agree that it's working, and that we don't want to tip the apple cart to make these fine changes. But this is a very exciting time, and I just want to remind everybody about the importance of animal control in Portage County and how important it is to get out there and get your dog licensed. It's a hefty fine from the Sheriff's Department if you're caught not having a license, but there's so many other good positive reasons about why that's important. It helps us maintain our animal control program and our Humane Society in Portage County, and it's a very important public health initiative. So please get out there and get your dog licensed. We'll have more information on that coming as we lift up some public relations efforts around that effort in Portage County too. About a couple more news items, and then we're going to get to Jami here today, my guest. On the energy front, we've got the Phase 2 energy planning underway, but now we've got extra facts to share with you. You may remember that the Phase 2 energy plan is our transportation fuels plan, and we are wrapping up that planning effort this spring, and we'll move on to implementation in 2012. But here's an interesting fact that I don't believe that I've ever shared with you. Portage County drove in vehicles over 1.9 million business-related miles to do county business in 2010. And that's about $489,000 that was spent on fuels in these miles of driving that it took, whether it was in a sheriff's vehicle, whether it was in an ambulance, whether it was in a plow truck, whether it was in my vehicle. I mean, there's a lot of different vehicles that are that contribute to helping us achieve the mission here in Portage County. For example, I use my personal vehicle and I am reimbursed for that mileage. But anyway, we have a lot of impact to our bottom line, but also to our environment, and especially with fuel prices being certain to go up in our future, this is a really important area for us to look at, controlling costs and doing things hopefully even smarter than we try to do them today. So this study is something that you will definitely be hearing more about, and we're going to continue our work on Phase 2 energy planning as we go forward. As of this taping, I'm continuing to do the search and screen process for both the Director of the Information Technology Department and also the Highway Commissioner's position. These are really, really important positions in Portage County, and I know you know that it's really important that we do our diligence. We have a whole team of people involved in each one of these searches and screens, and we dig down deep. We have practical exercises as well as doing our diligence on background checks and other assessments that are related to making sure that we get the person we need that's the right fit for the position to move Portage County forward. So stay tuned for more information about that. And then in 2012 also, you probably read it in the newspaper, it was a great article in the Stevens Point Journal about this initiative that we have to recruit 20 new first responders in 2012. And these are the people who answer emergency calls. They are the ones that are often first to arrive on the scene. They show up with an automated external defibrillator for those that might have had a heart attack to try to save their life. They're the ones with a medical bag and a radio, and they have a pager. And we have that 4 to 8 minute response time, which is really important to save lives. And so the more we have these individuals that are available out in especially our rural areas or businesses in community, across our community, what we're able to do is to have that first response ready to go until an ambulance arrives, if an ambulance is needed at all. And sometimes an ambulance isn't even needed and the first responder can take care of the call. Now we have about 135 first responders in Portage County that are working through 12 municipalities and about 30 different businesses. So you're going to hear a lot more about us on this recruitment effort. There's been some great suggestions that have come forward from one of our first responders who works really, really hard in the community and has some tremendous ideas. If you are interested, if this might be somebody like you that wants this career step that might lead you to become a paramedic someday, for example, please be watching for more information or give my office a call, and we're happy to get you on the list of folks that we want to talk with about the possibility of becoming a first responder here in Portage County. When we look back at 2011 briefly here, you know, it has been a year of really big change. I don't think that's any surprise to anybody out there. And we've had a lot of progress. I really sincerely say that to you here today. One of the things that's kind of cool as I look back is I held 14 listening sessions around the county this year in 2011. And we've gotten to every quadrant of the county this quarter. There have been 112 different citizens who have attended those sessions around the county. They've asked questions. They've asked me to do homework and research for them. That's where Jami comes into the picture. We'll talk about that in a minute. They've asked for updates, or I've shared information about what's happening. And this is a chance that I hope that you will take advantage of if you can going forward in 2012 as we continue making the rounds in going to town halls and village halls and so on and so forth to make sure that I'm accessible to you if you want to help to shape our future here in Portage County, and I hope that you do. We've also made history from the county tax levy standpoint. For the first time in over 30 years, we have reduced the amount of tax burden or tax levy on the people by over $210,000. And I think this is significant. In other words, we've tightened things up some more. We've balanced some things differently. We have done our borrowing here of $8.6 million for capital projects going forward that are going to help us address some county highway projects and also some information technology upgrades in the county and some facilities improvements that are critical. And that includes things like our Portage County Healthcare Center, where we're going to invest in our boilers, our antiquated boilers in the system, and upgrade the energy efficiency of that building. So anyway, there's a lot going on, and I'm really, really proud of the way that in doing all of these things that we have also kept the tax rate steady compared to last year. And I got to say, if we hadn't done that, I think we would have made an even greater hit on people with pocketbooks that are extremely tight, and I know that families are struggling, and we wanted to do our best. So I applaud the efforts of the county board members, the efforts of our staff, our county staff in our almost 40 departments that have worked really, really hard to try to tighten things up and find answers and be innovative in addressing our county's mission. While we've made this progress, one of the people I have to be very, very thankful for is Jami Gebert, executive assistant to me in the county executive's office. And Jami, you're a hero to me. I have to say, I cannot do this job, absolutely could not do it without you. And I am so happy to have you here so everybody gets to see the face of the person they talk with on the telephone so often. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you've done since, what, it's almost 22 months in office. Well, it will be in January, for me to be in office as county executive, and there you've been with me all along. I appointed you to the position for my first day you were there, and I have never looked back at any question that I made the right choice in appointing you as my executive assistant to this office. So tell everybody about you, and it's time for me to stop talking. I know we wanted to give a whole big review of news, more than usual, but at the same time, I know you've got an amazing story, and if you tell folks a little bit about yourself, I think they're going to know why I chose you.
Well, I grew up in Wood County, so not very far away, and I grew up on a family farm. And I actually started my education at the University of Green Bay, but came back to UWSP for summer school just to finish my college education a little quicker, and I liked it so much I stayed. So, and in my senior year there in college, I got an internship with former Mayor Westcott, who in turn hired me on, so I have a history with government. And after working for Mayor Westcott for about 2 years, I took on the role as the first Main Street manager with the Main Street program for downtown Stevens Point. And that was a wonderful experience that I really enjoyed and look back on very fondly. I'm still very fond of downtown. So, and a couple other things, and that led me to you, and that led me here.
I have to tell you that one of the things that is really impressive is how broad your network is, and how important the personal relationships or the business relationships are with people in the community in order to do a good job in this position. And there you are. You've got tons of contacts in numerous organizations here through the work that you've done and through your prior government service. And again, you are a great asset to my office.
Thank you.
And to the county, really.
Thank you. I was very fortunate when I moved here. Mayor Westcott helped me to get involved, and I was very involved with the Portage County Business Council, and I was previously one of their ambassadors of the year, and that really opened me up to a lot of the business and organizations in the community. I'm also very fortunate to be a member of the Rotary Club of Greater Portage County and a past president. I love Rotary, the whole organization, very much, and that has offered me a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people.
And you know what the other thing is? As wonderful as your network is, the other thing that is so cool is you get it done. I have to tell you, you know how to get stuff done. Now the phone's ringing quite a lot. Why don't you tell people what it's like on a daily basis in the county executive's office, and what your duties are?
Well, every day is different.
That's an understatement.
I really serve as sort of the office manager. I handle all the phones and the mail, the visitors coming in. I handle your calendar, which is a lot. and organizing and scheduling all the appointments. So, and I also, as you mentioned before, do a lot of the research. Several people call into the office. They might have issues, or they might want to say thank you for something that's going on, or share a concern that they have. And they often want they want to speak to you directly, and a lot of times I can handle their concern, or I can get them to the right place immediately. And if they do have something that takes a little bit more research, I'm more than happy to do that with them, and that will get them a faster resolution to what they're looking for.
As you look back at 2011, you know, what do you think about? Look at the year behind us. I mean, we're at a new year here. All we know is it's going to be another busy one.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah. This year there was so much going on this year. I was very fortunate to serve on the admin team that went through the policy changes for HR. And that was a real learning experience for me, and something that really expanded my understanding of all the things and all the departments that the county has to deal with on a daily basis. You know, and looking forward, something I'm looking forward to is the Farm Technology Days and being a part of that committee for 2014. So.
Yeah, you've been involved, definitely, and we're making good progress on that. So, yeah, very exciting. A lot of times I'll have you attend a meeting if I can't get there, too, so that you can then bring a report back, or again, you'll be doing some homework for me. You're kind of like we're working a little bit like a wonderful dynamic duo, I think, and many people have talked about that.
Yeah, I've always been really proud of everybody saying how we are always available and we are always accessible to them. And I always take a lot of pride in the fact that people say, you know, you get back to me. We can't resolve everything immediately, but we always return calls and we're always there for people. We do a really good job of coordinating schedules to make sure that somebody's in the office, except for this precise moment. But I really think that our availability has made people know that we are here for them.
And when we look at what you do for I mean, there's a lot of staff. We have 600 and some employees in Portage County, and you help me organize staff meetings, all sorts of other team meetings, all these strategic planning efforts that we talked about. You're organizing all of these multiple groups of people and helping to make it happen. And without that, I couldn't possibly be as efficient as I am in addressing so many different issues really quite quickly as we respond to the needs here in Portage County, and the opportunities too. Yeah. Organization I always thought was one of my strengths, so that lets me use one of my strengths very well. And sometimes you're even acting like my memory. So Jami, talk about, I was like, Jami will remember, so maybe I don't have to invest in my memory on that until I get a refresher next time, because there's just way too many subjects and too much depth on too many different planning subjects. It gets dizzying after a while. So I'm grateful for the retention that you have. It's incredible. But as we look ahead, let's talk about, what do you think the most proud accomplishment is? How many minutes is left in the show? Because I can't see, because you're not saying wrap it up when it's time.
1 minute.
1 minute. Oh my gosh. So highlight. What are you most proud? Well, let's look ahead then. What are you looking forward to in 2012?
I'm looking forward to a less turmoil year. I'm really hoping that this next year is one of planning and accomplishment, and a look forward for us to have a great future for Portage County.
Awesome, awesome. And I got to say again, I can't do it without you. Thank you so very much. I know all the listeners here are grateful too. If they think the county's going in the right direction, it's because you're helping me help guide that, along with lots of other folks involved. Next month, next month's guest is Shirley Simonis, our county clerk. She's going to teach us about the voter ID law and all the upcoming spring elections and so many other things that she does behind the scenes that help our elections flow smoothly here. So it's a show you're not going to want to miss. Again, Jami, thank you so very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.